Welcome back to the Awkward Thinking Podcast, a safe space for weird thoughts. I'm your boy Nas, aka Stacks.
What up? I'm Vince.
And we are the friends you never knew you needed, Awkward Thinkers. Woo! White people claps in the building. Yeah. So we have a special guest in the building. You know, just like the seasons, but we in winter. But we got autumn in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, white people class, stand up. Woo! Damn, that white people class is low. Yes. Tell the people who you is and who you ain't.
Okay, so my name is Autumn. I am a social worker by day, homegirl by night. Okay. What else? That's me in a nutshell.
I was watching a documentary, and I know I always go back to this documentary. It's called Studs. Did you see it? Mm-mm. It's about Jonah Hill and his therapist, and basically he's a non-traditional therapist. Basically, like what you said, you're a homegirl by night. So how would you what are your ways of in your therapy like teachings to make that your client be like, oh, this is the person for me?
Yeah, so I don't like to self-disclose too much with my therapist with my clients, because I don't want to make it about me. Yeah. But I do like to be open. Like, I've been through something similar, whatever the case may be. And also, like, I'm not afraid to hide who I am or where I come from. So I think that makes people want to feel like we vibe. Not only, because, you know, like, a lot of times when young black people are looking for therapists, they're looking and they see another young black person and they're like, okay, I think I may like her. But when it comes to that, I like my bio to be real. I want it to be authentic. I don't want it to talk about accolades. I want it to talk about who I am. Mm-hmm. So I think that is what draws people in, and that's how we vibe.
Why does you looking like me have to matter if you're coming with me with an unbiased opinion?
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
But I think it just depends on what you're looking for, because I've had friends who really vibed with their white therapist, and they feel like they come with, they're non-biased and they're just authentic and real. But I think it just depends on what you're looking for. Like, if you're like, okay, I feel like my struggles and what I experienced in my childhood as a black person is why I am the way that I am today, so I'm going to seek a black therapist. Mm-hmm. I think it just really depends on what you're looking for.
Okay. I think it's also, sometimes with white therapists and black clients, or even the other way around, it's some things that I go through, and when I talk about them and explain them, they're not able to understand because you haven't lived that lifestyle. You don't know certain cultural things that we go through. So, like, I'm trying to think of, like, just
But
simple
can't you
stuff.
just read
about it? Some stuff is not and that's a problem I'm really having right now at work, because it's like some stuff is not, you can't read up on it to understand what people go through. Sometimes you actually got to live through it, or you got to at least experience it for yourself, or be close to the situation to understand specifically what a person is going through. It's not, everything can't just be found in a book.
Okay, no doubt. So I seen that you was on a TED Talk. I've been wanting to do a TED Talk. I don't know how you do it, but I feel like I got a nice story to tell for TED Talk. So like, break that down for me.
Yeah, so it was a goal of mine that I wanted to do. I didn't think it would happen this soon, but it was just something I want to do like in the next, 5 to 10 years. And so there was a neighborhood in Columbus. It's a predominantly black neighborhood, very historic. Like, the first projects in Columbus were built in that neighborhood. They're not there anymore, but that's a different story. But the point is, it's a real predominantly black neighborhood, and some people who grew up there decided to organize this TED Talk. So this was the 5th year, I think, of it, 4th or 5th year. So you apply, and in order to get approved for this particular one, you had to either live in that neighborhood, grow up in that neighborhood, or do some type of community work in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I went to middle school, not directly in that neighborhood, but like in the neighborhood next to it. And my friend and I, we started like passing out flowers on Mother's Day to mothers who've lost children to gun violence. And this is a friend who I went to that middle school with, and we lost so many people that we went to school with, and that was just something we came up with to do. So, like, with me knowing that I wanted to do a TED Talk, and then the TED Talk in that particular neighborhood was looking for applicants, it just instantly came to my mind. I already knew what I was going to do. So I filled out the application. application was due like in the beginning of the year. I got an email saying that they picked me in like June, and then July came when we started intensively practicing. So my TED Talk was about addressing gun violence with a radical approach. So it was in October. So what I talked about in the TED Talk was, I talked about my own experiences losing people to gun violence, and then I talked a little bit about what my friend and I had started doing, and then I also talked about, as a social worker, I want to empower the community by allowing the community to lead, but also being confident in like my own experiences to know that I have the ability to help people feel confident about what they're experiencing as well. You know, like a lot of people don't talk about, oh, I lost a good friend of mine to gun violence. Like I know when I was in college, we didn't talk about that stuff, and it actually felt like I was embarrassed a little when it came to situations like that, because I knew that the people that I was around, they don't know anything about that life. Yeah. But I feel like I'm finally in a place to where instead of feeling like ashamed, I feel empowered.
Yeah.
So
like I'm kind of interested now because how was your upbringing?
I grew up in a single parent home, in the hood, really. I feel like I was spoiled for our class, if that makes sense. Like, it was just me and my mom. She made sure I had everything that I wanted, but we went without a lot of different things. And I feel like just the love that she had for me, she put me before everything else, if that makes sense. Like, we would sleep with the stove open. We would sleep with, a bunch of different things and go without. But I didn't really realize how segregated things were until I got out of that environment, until I went to college, until I was around all these other people. Like, I thought that was normal. Like, we lived in this apartment complex, and we would all walk to the corner store with our mom's food stamp cards. Yeah. I thought that was normal.
Yeah. I mean,
it is,
I
but
still do it to the day. You know what I mean?
But like I thought I thought everybody had one of those. I didn't know it was like for a certain population. Yeah. So just being exposed to like more things, I think like when I first went to college and got out of that environment, I think I became embarrassed. I remember like when I first went to school, because I bought my first car by myself, and that's a proud moment. But when I came to college and I'm seeing what everybody else is driving, I'm like, I don't want to drive anymore. Yeah. I was embarrassed, like.
What you had? What you had?
I think I had a 1997 Toyota Corolla.
Oh, damn. Okay.
But for your first car, I feel like that's great. That's great.
But it was like cool in high school.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of people didn't really have cars.
We ain't have no cars in college, so.
Yeah. So I get it.
We was doing hood Ubers.
That's crazy.
Not the hood Ubers.
We was doing hood Ubers. They had to, $10, $15 get you in town?
Yep, take you in town. You go to the grocery store, you come back, or you go pick up food, or somebody else is already in town. And all this is happening in a group chat. You just like, oh, I need this. So with your TED Talk, they actually sit and like prep you for that? I didn't know you get prepped for that. I just thought everybody was just like
go in there.
Yeah. So how was that?
So you have to memorize it. So like we wrote it ourselves, but like we would practice once a month, and then the month of it was like an every week type of thing. And we were also connected with past speakers who have similar stories, and they gave us feedback and helped us. And you can meet up with that person at your own leisure if you if you want to meet up with them more. But it was just like 2 set meetings with that person, and then we had group practices. But we didn't have like a full run through until the week of, and we were like on the stage.
That's nice. So do you think like your background is what made you, because when I first came in you was talking about your bachelor's is in journaling, right? But you got your master's, right, in social work. So what helped you get there? Was that your background, or was that just like something you felt like you needed to do?
So I think it's a little bit of both. So I wanted to be a journalist. I love to write. I thought I was going to move to New York and write for like Teen Vogue. Like that was the dream. And then so when I was in college, I worked multiple jobs, and I was a home health aide. And I really enjoyed like helping people, and I always thought that was like just something I enjoyed doing on the side. And then after I graduated, I worked in digital marketing But it was like, it wasn't fulfilling, and I was really depressed. And I knew it was temporary. Like, this isn't where I want to be, but like I just felt very stagnant, unfulfilled. And what happened? So I had a blog. So I started a blog, and I talked a lot about like lifestyle and like mental health, but I still felt like it was a hobby. And then I just decided, like, I think I want to take this mental health thing to the next level, and I want to go to grad school and become a therapist. So that's pretty much what happened. So then I started researching programs. So I was torn in between like mental health counseling and social work. With both degrees, you can be a therapist, but the reason why I went the social work route was more from my background. I'm like, I want to be able to work in the community. Yeah. And it's more broad. So
social work definitely has more avenues than what I thought it did, and I wish, because I got my bachelor's in psychology, and I wish that I would have just got it in social work and then went on and straight and got my master's. Because it's so much that, like you said, you can do with social work. You can help people. You can actually give therapy and counseling and all that. It's a good field, and I don't think a lot of people be knowing like the avenues that you can go through with social work. That's what's up.
You tell someone you're a social worker, they like, oh, you take people's kids.
We listen, because my mother used to get the social workers called on her all the time for us, and like out of petty stuff. So that's all. When social workers came, it was never okay, like, y'all here to help, even though we did get help sometimes, but it was like, y'all here to take people kids. And that's how we always saw it. So when I did come up, I'm thinking, okay, social worker is just somebody who take kids. It does not get described the way that it does when you're actually in college. And they like, no, you can do X, Y, and Z with a social work degree. So that's what's up.
I know that you said that your mom was a single parent and stuff like that. So did anybody prepare you? And what I mean by this is, let me ask the question first. Anybody prepare you to be a woman? And the reason why I ask you is that because as an idea as a kid, I thought as a man, all right, you talk shit, you eat steak, you do this thing, but nobody really said, oh, this is going to be your way into being a man.
In short, no.
No.
And I think it took me a long time to be able to confidently answer that question and say no, because it's like no shame or no harm to my mom, but I feel like she did the best that she could. But that doesn't mean that it prepared me for success. Yeah. Or who I am as a woman today.
So what do you define womanhood now? Well, building up to that. Or is that... Oh.
That's a real, like, complex question. I feel like the one lesson or the one thing that I like really learned from my mom, she always told me to, be nice to other people. And my mom is a really nice person, but she's also a people pleaser. So that's how I grew up, a people pleaser. And I thought that that's the life that I was supposed to live. That's how I was supposed to be. But with being a people pleaser, it also comes with people taking advantage of you sometimes, and also not really, you feel like you're giving, so you're not able to see your faults or where you went wrong. You think that, oh, I'm giving, so I don't do any wrong. And so with that, I think that as I became an adult, I just learned that's not the life that I want to live. You can be kind, but you don't always have to be nice. And I think that goes into the whole thing of womanhood and femininity and all those things. Being feminine doesn't equate to letting people walk all over you. It doesn't equate to being a doormat. It equates to being confident in who you are. And I think that's what defines womanhood.
Do you feel like a lot of women nowadays have took the independent narrative and spun it to being like wanting to build? Because, all right, in the ignorant thought of being a man, you would expect a woman to be soft. But nowadays we get these independent women, and it's a hard thing. Not saying such a hard, but I'm independent, I don't need a man. So what are those pinpoints of that balance when it comes to that?
Yeah, I feel like I do fit that strong black woman, independent woman stereotype, and I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
So I think watching my mom, I was forced to be independent, whether that be because I watched her do everything by herself or the mistakes that she made.
Yeah.
Because I started working as a teenager to help her out, to do things that I wanted to do. so I'm like, okay, this is a responsibility that I have to take on. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to be in control. I have to, just do this. So, like, now at this stage in my life, in my late 20s, I'm like, that's not the life that I want to live. Mm-hmm. Especially now as a mother, like, I don't want my son to grow up and say, my mom did this, and this, and this, and this. That's why she's a good mom. No. I want to be a good mom because you think I'm nurturing. You think I appeal to your emotional needs. I have fun with you. I don't want it to be like the things that I do to take care of you. I think growing up in like black households, a lot of times we hear like, I put a roof over your head, so this what makes me a good parent, and I don't want to be that. Or this is what makes me a good man or a good woman. A lot of times it's what you do, but not what you do, if that makes sense.
So, with that, I love that you brought that up, because I had this thing of staying in the child's place. Did you feel like that hurt you a lot?
It did, and it's like, I feel like parents use it when it's convenient for you. Like, my mom, if I would jump into a conversation, or I would say this, I would say that, she would tell me to stay in the child's place. Or if I said something she didn't like, like my own opinion that she didn't like, she would tell me to stay in the child's place. Yeah. But when you need my help or you need me to do something, you want to involve me all in your business. You got to pick a side.
Yeah. That's deep. I always used to get in trouble because when you're only child, it's that you got a smart mouth. You talking out of turn, but it's like I'm looking at it as an unbiased person. I'm looking at it through the whole, what we was just talking about, through the whole grand scheme. I'm looking at, all right, this don't make you feel good, and this makes you feel good. So why are you doing this? Why are you putting yourself through this? But since I'm a kid, the only time you can take me serious is when I'm talking about something physical. Oh, you getting big. Oh, we laugh. Da 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 da. But that's the only time you can take a kid serious. But now, staying in the child's place, I'm left with questions as an adult that I needed to be answered as a kid.
Do you feel like, with your background, like with your second degree, do you think that's helped you as a mother?
I think it has, because the transition into motherhood kind of happened at the same time when I decided to go back to school. Like, it was a thought that I had before he was born, but like, I think I started school, when he was like 6 months old. So I think it, like, just not only being in school and like going back into being busy in that aspect, but also the material that I was learning kind of helped me learn how to be more patient and just, be more nurturing.
Good. Because the reason why I asked that, because I know, like, in undergrad, as I was going through, I got a bunch of nieces and nephews who I like help raise, and there was a lot of things that I was learning, and I'm like, damn, we kind of like, messing them up a little bit. I see like some of the stuff that's being repeated, or I see some of the stuff that does need to be changed, and it wasn't until I felt like I was learning new things, and not necessarily just from my degree, but just even from like the people around me. When you start talking to everybody and you do realize we got the same backstory, and that, we kind of a little messed up, and that's not okay. I don't know, it just kind of helped me realize like I got to do better with them. And of course with my kids when that come around, but it just helped me realize I got to do better with them.
So how is it raising a boy? I don't know if you're a single parent, but how is it raising a boy?
So, funny, because when I found out I was pregnant, I knew that it was a boy. I felt it in my spirit, and I wanted a girl. I think a lot of women do. Like, oh, I want a mini-me, I want her to look like me, I want to do her hair, the little cute stuff. But I wasn't upset. But I'm just like, okay, it is what it is, whatever. But I think that it's, what's the word I'm looking for? Everything I like never imagined. I feel like I'm raising him the same way that I would raise a daughter. Like as far as like the basics and the domestics, like how to wash up, how to, like he helps me in the kitchen sometimes, like just little stuff, how to express how you feel. So it's like, it's not really, right now at least, it's not really like a gender thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that'll change as he gets older and kind of grows into himself as a black man. But it's great. Okay. And it's like, I never thought that I would say it, but it's like I really have like a mini-me we're not the same sex. And it's like he wants to do everything that I do, but he knows that I'm a girl, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like, he knows he doesn't wear a bra Like, he knows boys don't wear bras. And, like, if I'm putting on, like, lashes, like fake lashes or something, he calls them eyebrows. He knows he knows boys don't wear them. But, like, just little stuff. Like, if I'm putting on perfume, he wants his own spray. Like, he wants everything that I do, but he knows that we're not the same sex, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah. Especially growing up as an only child, so there wasn't a man in the house, so, like, it's like I'm just kind of starting from scratch.
Yeah. Hot takes. So, do you have any hot takes? Do you have any opinions that you want to just let loose and say, you know what, this is right, I don't give a fuck what you think. This is that.
About anything?
Anything in the world.
Okay, since we're on the topic, I think that black women fail black men more than they realize.
I was not expecting that. Let's tune in.
Yes, go ahead.
So I saw a tweet on Twitter the other day, and it was like, women raise men to tell them that they shouldn't cry, they shouldn't do this, they shouldn't do that, and then in result, black men are desensitized by society, and then they grow up, and then, like, they get into these relationships, and here we are as black women still blaming them. Oh, he's a narcissist, he's toxic, he's this, he's that. But, like, and I'm not saying it's your job to fix anybody as a woman dating a black man, but, like, have you ever sat back and thought about how we are continuing this cycle, like how we how this is, we're part of the problem?
Yeah, a lot of the times we've bashed that thought, and we said a lot of the women that do raise boys usually raise the man that they always wanted, as in they'll put in attributes of how your father should have treated me, and then it kind of hinders to him because it's like, where is my identity as my own manhood coming at?
And you got a kid who now is like the man of the household at a very early age. I was never a fan of that. 8-year-old is not the man of the household. He's the child of the household. You just need to run your household, however. You got little boys who grow up thinking I got to provide for everybody. And then when they become adult men, they still feel that way. And now they don't. That's all they know is I just got to be a provider. And that's why a lot of times black men just feel like I'm money to somebody. I'm just an ATM, or I'm just something for somebody I'm just security for someone else. But I do think it's important that when we raising black men, even as a black man, when I have sons, hopefully I do have sons and daughters and stuff, but when I raise them, I do want them to know, like, you are more than just a provider, a protector for anybody else. You are you yourself first. Yeah.
My hot take is, and I've been on this thought. Everybody's been giving me hell for this thought I posted on my Instagram. I think that in my beautiful opinion, that the rich auntie is an excuse for a woman that is not ready for responsibility or commitment. That's my just, because when you think of the rich auntie, is always when, say you're dealing with a man, it's just like, oh, I'll be the rich auntie, I don't got to deal with that, I'm trying to just focus on my career. Or your kid acting out, oh, I'm gonna be the rich auntie, I can give it back, I can do this. So I just think that idea is them to say, oh, I'm not ready yet, I'm okay.
I don't agree.
He don't agree with me.
I don't, because I just feel like the rich auntie is just, even because his points, I feel like, are valid points of why I don't want to do those things. I don't want to be in a relationship if I know that this is how people act. I've seen for myself how people act. I don't want kids because I see the way that these kids are. And maybe not just because of the way the kids are, but I know how I grew up. I know I don't want to have that kind of responsibility for another adult. And I just don't want to put myself in a position where if I'm if I'm not in a relationship and I'm already doing well and I'm happy, why involve somebody else into that? If I know that might, mess up what I got going on. I don't think it's the rich auntie is like an excuse or anything. I'm rich, I ain't got to have kids. I ain't got to do it if I don't want to.
Okay.
I always thought that I was going to be like the rich auntie. In college, anytime I'm like dating someone, if I got a lot going on in my life, the first thing to go is always who I'm entertaining. And I didn't think I would like have kids until I was like 30. And then even now, like when I go to like family events, I'm always the one that's like, oh, I gotta go, I got something to do. Like I don't stay long. I always gave that vibe, like just so focused on herself.
Yeah.
And I do kind of, from my own perspective, I do think it kind of goes into your opinion. Not saying that I'm not good enough. I didn't think that I wasn't good enough for a romantic relationship, but it's like in my head, I got to do this, and this before I could get to that point. So it's like I don't got time for that type of thing.
See, I was right a little bit,
but I think every situation is
different. Yeah, everything is different. What's your hot take before we move on?
I'm kind of over my. I don't want to be specific and say my coworkers, but I'm over coworkers that's like in your business and shit. I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
We grown, especially if you are not like my supervisor. Don't supervise me. Don't question me. Don't ask me stuff. Don't be in my business. I don't like that in the workplace. I just had like a situation. One of my coworkers, she don't even work there no more, but she went around and she told a new person like, yeah, nobody here likes you, especially like him. He doesn't like you. And I'm like, I don't got no problem with this man. I'd never talk to this man to have a problem with him. Stop fucking the workplace up. Just stop, because I come here for cash. That's it. I'm here for the money. And it's like I can't even enjoy that or enjoy what I'm doing because you're bothersome in the workplace. And people don't realize that, like, y'all make people quit jobs that they actually like because they don't want to be around you. And that, I don't feel like that's you know how you just, oh, well, that's how people are. No, you can die. When you like that in the workplace and you make me feel so uncomfortable like that, just disappear, bro. I don't want to be around you. You fall off the face of the earth.
And stop asking dumbass interview questions like, "What animal would you be?" What the fuck does that have to do with the fucking the job? Right? Like,
you don't like icebreakers?
I just hate that idea of like, all right, I'm like, you have to lie in an interview and then it's saying like, oh, I'm not here for the money. What? I am here for the money, but why do we have to go through this route of, oh yeah, what animal would you be? I fucked it up one time. I told the lady, she was like, yeah, what animal would you want to be? And I told her I wanted to be a hippopotamus. I'm thinking like, oh shit, like, nigga, that's unique. Like, nobody think about that shit all the time. That's a dangerous ass fucking animal. Why the fuck would I want you to work for me? I didn't get a call back though.
I don't. Why are you asking me about animal though?
I don't know. I really don't know.
What like me describing what kind of animal I'm gonna be, I don't get what that does for you as the employer. Maybe it is an icebreaker, but like, why do you want to see me in animal form? What am I gonna do?
We ain't cosplaying, you know. But I did see on your page, you did some vaginal soup things for your, like tea and stuff like that. It rose a story in my head that I had dealt with somebody that was doing vaginal health. Let's put it like that. So, we doing what grown people do. It's nighttime, and I'm thinking I'm tearing shit up. You know what I mean? I look down and something's secreting. I look down. I'm like, oh, okay, it's cool. It curdled up, right? So I'm like, it's curdling. This is look a little different. You know what I mean? So then, after I'm done, I asked her, I'm like, yo, what's going on? And she's like, oh, I put yogurt in my vagina. Put yogurt. And I was just like, so what is the proper thing to put up there? Because she was like, yeah, it's supposed to help probiotics or something like that. So she put up, before we had sex, she put yogurt in her vagina. I don't know if that threw off her pH or anything, but yeah, that was that.
Like, knowingly just put it up there? It was like,
she had a tub of non-Greek yogurt, that non-tasting Greek yogurt. And I don't know how she scooped it or spooned it. I don't know how she did it. But she said she put yogurt up there. And that wasn't the first time. Because I tasted it. It tastes like Yoplait. When I went down.
Let's stop.
No, what is some proper vaginal health, man? Let's get some people experienced on that.
So plain yogurt does contain probiotics that are good to fight yeast.
Right.
But that's funny.
So you can't put it up there. That's the thing.
I've read like blogs and stuff that recommend it, but they say like to wait like 12 hours.
Oh.
So it could, do
Digest.
what it do.
Okay.
So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I just feel like doing it right before you have sex is wild. Knowing like
I think it was already in there, and it was just like, all right, we about to.
That don't matter. But you a nasty nigga, cause he don't be caring. You just
It's
keep going.
a food fight, That's what I look at it. Playing in yogurt. Anyway,
Do you ever feel like cause you said like in the day I'm a social worker, at night I'm a hot girl. Do you ever feel like people be expecting for you to carry on the social work part, like, and not live the hot girl lifestyle?
Not really, kind of. I don't know. It depends, because I feel like sometimes I get asked like questions like I'm just supposed to have the answer, and it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
Or I'm not telling you what to do. Because even as a social worker or as a therapist, you're not telling people what to do. You're advising them, and we come up with a solution together. But I'm never going to tell you what to do.
What about what was I just about to ask? I hate when I get cloudy.
I have a question. I have a scenario. So, you on this date, right? The guy's amazing. Describe the type of guy that you would want to go on a date with. Just describe him.
Okay. So the type of guy I would love to go on a date with is like, brown skin, tall, very, smells good, very soft-spoken but outspoken, patient, just a dream.
Okay, just a dream. All right. So y'all go on a date. Y'all having the good vibes. He's funny. He's doing all this charismatic shit, right? Things take lead, right? You go whether his place, your place. Things take lead anyway, right?
This is the first date?
No. Like y'all knowing each other, like okay. It's a couple, and So he goes into this thing, y'all do what y'all grown people do. You're just like, oh, this was amazing. You cook breakfast. You want to be Beyonce. I want to cater to you. You know what I mean? So, you do this, and then you see his pants on the ground, right? You look down, and it's some marks in the drawers. So how did you feeling? Like, what would your mind frame go from that? Would you still continue to talk to this man, or what?
That's funny. I would be disgusted.
Okay.
But I think if we're vibing and I like you and I ain't smell anything, okay, I'm gonna ignore it.
Okay. So you're just saying, all right, it's a limit. Like you can't just be nasty in your drawers. It can be like a streak or two.
Yeah, cause you gotta humanize people, Okay. Like it's like if you knew that was there though, you could have covered it up a little bit. But things happen, and we're in the bed together. I don't smell anything, so I'm not gonna hold it against you.
Yeah. Have you ever been in that situation though?
I have not. And I don't want to.
Listen, Twitter, TikTok, and all that has because a lot of people have been coming forward and been like, oh yeah, I opened and I saw this and that, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I've always felt like I've been a clean person, even after using the bathroom and everything. But the way that people were coming forth and saying like, yeah, a man can't sit on the sheets without leaving a stain and that I feel like is good bullying, because that made me like up my game up and just be like, all right, nigga.
Leaving a stain on the sheets is crazy.
It's crazy.
How much of the sheets is in your ass?
But if you can, I feel like if you can leave a stain, in your underwear, you can leave a stain on sheets.
No.
Yes.
Nigga, my ass is closed.
Your ass
Sometimes
was closed.
I'm walking.
That's the same thing with the sheets. You sitting on the sheets, you moving around. But my thing is, I like when they was like, men don't wipe their ass. I was like, what the fuck is y'all talking about? I be in a rush.
Like,
I'm not saying I don't wipe my ass. I just got accustomed to the wet wipes. I got accustomed to the wet wipes because I don't know who made this thing where it was like dry toilet paper cleans everything. That's not true. But sometimes you be in a rush. I don't know.
And then it's like if you are dating someone and y'all, get a little serious, you're doing their laundry and you see a stain, what you gonna do? Break up with them? Like, things happen.
If I see it too often,
Yeah, too often. Okay, too often I feel that. But like, just once.
We all fuck up sometimes. And it also depends on how much is in there. Number one, don't get me wrong, I'm grown and stuff, so I've definitely been sick. I've had accidents. Them things go in the trash. That does not touch laundry at all. So like, I would never put my girl in that situation where you gotta see me like that. I wouldn't even want to be seen in that light like that. I feel like that's one of the things I'm too embarrassed to like want to go through. They did good with bullying. I ain't gonna lie. With that one, that was a good thing because that.
Yeah, I couldn't. I feel like the older you get though, like, you know what I mean. Older you get, you forget. That's what I think.
You don't,
because older people be shitting on themselves and it's just
I can
old.
see it. If you are very, very old, you in a wheelchair, whatever.
65.
What if it's like a wet willy?
What?
Like accidental short happened.
Again, accidents do happen. I agree. No one should see that though. No one should see the aftermath of that. Throw the underwear away. Don't even put that in my washing machine. I'm gonna be pissed off if I come in and not see, because you gonna leave that in there.
Yeah, and it's like when you're involved with someone, you just kind of want to be on your P's and Q's.
Yeah, it is stuff
For the first couple. Sometimes you get.
Well, yeah, I will say at the beginning you are very, very on your P's and Q's, and you do start to lessen up a little bit the longer you in a relationship, or the longer things go. You get more comfortable. There are things that you can be comfortable with. That's like, okay, the nigga don't put the cap back on the toothpaste. I don't do that. But you not gonna catch shit in my drawers. Not like that.
So, like the farting thing, now I'm getting accustomed. Like I don't care if you fart, you human. You know what I mean? Like she gotta let it out. She gotta let it out. Remember the story I told you about the girl, right? Mm-hmm. She spread her cheeks and she farted in front of me, right? so she did that, but she moved on. She found another dude, and I guess she farted in him near him, and he kicked her right out.
Really?
Like, he was not messing with her. She was like, "Oh my God, I felt so embarrassed." But I told her, like, everybody ain't gonna make you feel comfortable. Everybody ain't cool with that.
I'm not kicking you out because you fart. That I feel like that's childish.
It is childish. It is childish.
Fart. It's a human thing. It's not like. Don't be gross. Like I feel like you can be very gross.
You can't just be like, "Oh, it's farts and that's and then you can't be. You can't say you can't be gross. Like, nigga,
don't be gross. You listen. It's possible to fart and still fart, and then it's possible to fart and be nasty with it. Don't be nasty with it. Don't like you. Lifting your ass cheeks up. That was nasty. I ain't need to see that. That wasn't. Don't do nothing like that in front of me.
It was funny. There's certain things that just be funny. It was funny.
I'm glad you be finding joy in that. But I'm not against farting, but just don't be nasty. You ain't got to be nasty with it. But I ain't gonna also kick you out because you passed some gas. Like
as long as I don't smell it, I don't care how it sound. It's just as long as I don't smell it. That's gonna make me like look at you different. Like you know how Fiona changed. That's how it is.
Fart stink though.
Not all the time.
Not all the time, but fart stink. So it's like she ain't gonna be able to be. Well, I feel like when it be warm because you be like, fuck, I know that one was nasty. But in this
situation, got a leather couch too, so them motherfuckers be staying there. You know what I mean?
Shut up, man. But in that situation, she not thinking like, okay, this one. She probably thinking this about to be quiet. I'm about to just slide this one out. We gonna be good. Nah.
I feel like a lot of girls do the silent fart. Like the side, ass cheek to the side. I didn't.
I grew up with sisters, so I knew like women farted. Like women farting was never like, oh, this is my sisters were farting like niggas. So it was
my mom fart like a nigga. She do like, and I was like, only you do this. That's how I thought. I was like, only you fart like this.
Oh wait, I do got one more question. So like, I'm sorry, because I'm working in the field, but I'm not working where I want to be at, where I feel like I can make actual change, but I am seeing people who have have the degrees that I'm wanting. I'm seeing them work with youth, and I'm seeing them deal with the kids, and I don't like it. Because I don't feel like I'm seeing change. I don't feel like I'm seeing people grow, and that was something I struggled at with my first job. Like, y'all not helping these kids. Y'all just, letting these kids fuck themselves up even more, and you're fucking them up even more. Do you feel like has there been a point within your career where you're like, I gotta get up out of here because I'm seeing you're not really supposed to be, or you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing?
Yeah, so I worked at a psych hospital. This was like while I was in school, so I wasn't a social worker there. I was just, what was I doing? I was a mental health tech. Mm-hmm. And so we had like an adult unit and a geriatric unit. And like I noticed that the other techs and some of the nurses were very mean to the geriatric patients. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of them had like dementia and stuff like that. And they would get mean. Like they would say mean things to us. But like when it came to like bathing them or like changing a lot of them wore diapers. So like changing their diapers, like they would just, it smells like piss and you're just letting them sit in it. Like they just didn't care. And that bothered me a lot. Mm-hmm. Like this isn't where I want to be.
Yeah. I feel that because I feel like especially I feel like having a good soul, and I know a lot of people who be like, I got a good soul. They be bad people, but I got a good soul. But I do feel like the longer I've been here, the more I've like not hated the field, but I've hated to see some of the things that come up out of the field. And it's like I want to see the kids get help, and I want that, but I know I'm not going to be an agent of change here in this place. And I feel like that sucks. Like, because I know they need it, but that's crazy having somebody sit in their own piss and stuff for hours.
Yeah, I almost threw my great grandma because of that. Real shit.
You almost threw her?
Yeah, so we was changing her. You know, she had arthritis and stuff, so she changing her, and the diaper, I guess, whatever. And I think she was shitting in the midst of it. So I'm young. I think I'm like high school or something like that. So I'm like, I'm damn near about to like toss you. Like my mom was like, you better not throw my grandma. But I was like,
that is wild.
I didn't want to get shit on me, so I was about to throw my great grandma because of that.
Mm-hmm. And then one more. As a therapist, especially I feel like as a black therapist, like you said, you've come up in some not so great situations. You've been victim of gun violence, regardless if it was like, directly you or even around you. You've lost people too and everything. Do you feel like when you got into your field, do you feel like you needed a counselor, like a therapist?
Yeah, I have a therapist.
Oh, you do? Mm-hmm. How does that work for you? Like, do you have a therapist? Yeah, because like the last guest we had on the show, he talked about going into the field too, and he was like, I need a therapist for the stuff that I'm dealing with as a person. Then I need a therapist for the stuff that I'm dealing with at work, like dealing with clients. And then I think a therapist for something else. I forgot what it was. So.
Yeah, so my therapist that I have, I've been seeing her for 3 years now. So, like, she was with me when I really, really needed her. She was with me throughout grad school, and I'm still with her now. Mm-hmm. And I would say, like, my internship, because in grad school, it's a requirement or whatever, and it was a lot. It was at, like, a community mental health agency, and it was, like, Catholic-driven. Mm-hmm. It was just a lot. Like, and I learned a lot there, but I feel like I didn't feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. So I really had to work through that. On top of, like you were saying, just the personal things that I had going on in my life at the time.
Mm. Thank you.
I can't hit my button?
Yep.
Okay. I be liking my buttons. It's about that time where we leave you with a positive message to get through the week. Special guest, what is your positive message to get through the week?
Does it have to be original?
Oh, it doesn't.
Okay.
We're going to put
Something
some
that's just been on my mind recently is just like, to whom much is given, much is required.
Mm. Okay. All right. You want to elaborate on that? Cause
yeah, like, I used to feel like punished. In a sense, like, why is my life like this? Mm. But as I, like, receive blessings or, like, do things that I want to do, I'm like, it's all a part of the plan. So I think that's a good message to just keep going.
Okay. Yes, what is your positive message to get through the week?
You go first. I'm still thinking.
I don't never be having positive messages for y'all. It really be like, get your shit together. What do I want to give to the world? I'm about to make a what have we been talking about? Oh yeah, wash your drawers. If you 35 at this point, you know what I mean. You probably listening, you probably laughing, I kikied, but you need to hit the toilet again. You know, wipe. My aunt, what's her name? I don't even remember my aunt's name. Damn, what the fuck is going on with me? Aunt Gail, there we go. My Aunt Gail was like, make sure you wipe until you can't see no more brown.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. That's my positive message. Wipe until you see no more brown, and that's how you get through life. So that's how motivational speakers be.
I don't know. Listen more. I guess I would say listen more than responding more. Especially this upcoming year, I feel like sometimes we talk more than what we have to. Listen more. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Actually, one more thing, and I know we was about to end the show, but I do have one more thing. What is the misconceptions? Like, I know you have a kid and stuff like that, and you in your career, you doing it, doing that damn thing. So, like, what is that misconceptions that people, like, you can't live, your life is dedicated to this child type of thing? Like, what do you say to that?
Like, so when, I feel like everything I say is so deep, so sorry. But, like, when he was first born, I was afraid. Like, I'm going to lose my identity. I don't want to become just a mom.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if you just continue to live your life and do what you want to do, that won't happen. It just adds to who you are as a person. And I do think that children can be burdens. Like, they're going to, set you back in some way.
Mm-hmm.
But it all depends on how you look at it.
Okay. With that being said, I'm Nas.
I'm Vince.
Special guest.
I'm Autumn.
Thank you for being awkward. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Give us some streams. Give us a 5-star rating. Tell everybody why I'm your favorite person on the show. And Vince won't be here next week because we're kicking him off for a new person. All right. Thank you for being awkward. See you next week.
I be forgetting it's not that loud.